the right beer glass with the right colored beer in it.
Say this.
I'm thinking of pins.
Yes.
And pewter.
Yes.
With epoxy color.
Okay, you have to control the epoxy on it. Don't let somebody else do it. You know better than anybody.
I have to, yeah.
No, we can mix it ourselves.
You have someone else do your epoxy?
Yeah.
We're going to be doing it, though.
When I do a whole bunch, I don't have time for that. So I'll show examples of the colors I want. I'll do a few. And what I do sometimes is, this is for the show, I'll do some extra castings and let her do what she feels. And if one appeals to me, I'll do more.
Oh, that's cool.
You know what I mean? It's almost like I got my departments.
Yeah.
However, you have the machines and the technology now. You can start doing it on
we
your
might
own.
start doing it this year.
I think
You have the technology. We can rebuild you.
All you need is a compressor, and we can make the first bionic man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so that's what we plan to do. We want to do it well contained. The only thing I won't do by myself is electroplate, because it's just it's liquid metal.
Yeah.
It's electricity. It's fumes.
And that's when you run the electricity through the metal while it's submerged?
It grabs the metal.
And that's how you get the copper and the gold.
Copper and the gold finishes are electroplated. The others are just simply oxidized, where they blacken it with a chemical, and then they hit the high spots. You know, and I'll even do that with the gold and the copper. I'll oxidize it afterwards and hit the high spots, and that's how you get that antique look.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So for anyone who's listening, we are here with. Well, I'm Andy. This is the Inebri-art podcast, and
Andy.
Hi, Jessie, and we are here with Jessie Fries.
Fries.
Mm-hmm. I knew I was going to get that wrong. And Eddy Murray.
That's Murray.
Of the art shop in Carver. And Jessie is a painter, drawer, artist extraordinaire.
Ooh.
And
emphasis on the extraordinaire.
that's French.
Yeah.
Ooh la la.
French fries.
And
there you are.
And Eddy is a sculptor and jewelry maker. Nice. So we were just discussing his jewelry process, and we're here to discuss the creative process in general and focus on why we do what we do. And to taste some beer. We are here. I should probably mention where we are. We are in the cellar of the craft beer cellar.
In the heart of it all.
In the heart, the sub-basement, some say, in Plymouth, Mass. And we are tasting today from Bog Iron Brewing. I can't speak. Out of Norton, Mass. It's an Imperial IPA with a 9.5% alcohol. It's called Middle Child. And it says here it has a floral and citrus aroma, and it's easy drinking with a honey that nicely mellows the booziness, and it has citrus and tropical notes. So let's.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Let's have a little taste.
May I have a sample?
Certainly. And shall we toast?
We shall. To the creative process.
To the creative process. There we go.
And creative people.
Hey,
cheers.
Cheers.
That is smooth. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
That honey really mellows the... what is it? The alcohol?
The booziness.
The booziness.
Yeah.
I must say.
Honestly, I'm not an IPA drinker, and
neither am I.
It's not bad for an IPA.
No.
That's what I mean. It's kind of balanced. I mean, IPA is like... You know how people went crazy over like hot sauce, and they had to have the hottest sauce?
Yeah.
Well, it seems the last few years it's what it's like with the hops. You have to have just as much hops as you possibly can.
Yep.
And they kind of lost, the whole point of a decent drinkable beer.
Right. I agree. I'm not an IPA drinker, but this actually is not bad. I would drink this.
Yeah.
So, not just because it's 9.5%. But that doesn't hurt. All right, so Eddy, you work for a jewelry manufacturer.
I do.
In Rhode Island. What is it that you do for them?
I do what I've been doing there. I've been doing for over 25 years. I'm called a jewelry model maker. And that's a person who takes a design, or is given a design by a designer, and renders it in metal. I make that first prototype, that first piece. And from there it goes into manufacturing. So I'm responsible for its feasibility. Not so much its style or trendiness, that's all decided by the designers and eventually the buyers who see the piece.
So do they give you the basic design and then you manufacture the prototype from that?
They do. If I'm lucky, I get a drawing.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's just something in a magazine that we alter or they alter style-wise. They'll give me the size stones I need to put in, They'll give me any kind of mechanism that's going to go with it, the chain, so I know what size chain it is. And I'll make that first piece, and I kind of give it back unfinished. It goes to casting after that. And that's what I do 9 to 5, and that's what I've been doing for, like I said, 25 years. But
now, as far as a creative person, like, do you feel that kind of I don't want to use the term stifling, but
that's the perfect.
Is it the perfect? Because you are basically stuck to what they're telling you to do.
It was. I can't say I fell into it. I come from a jewelry family, and my uncles and my grandfather were silversmiths. My uncles one of my uncles got into the sculptural bit where he sculpted, and that's kind of where I followed, and that's how I found myself in costume jewelry. And but yes, I started. I got good. I got my chops, and I got quality, and it became a source of revenue for me. I stayed with it. I started a family. I got married. I had kids, and I thought that was it. So yes, it was very stifling. But about 6 years ago now, after being in a model making job for 15 years, I was let go. My job either went overseas or was taken over by CAD/CAM, the computer assisted design and modeling. And now we're losing jobs to 3D printing, which are all beautiful things, and I understand them, but
it's just not the same.
No, it's not.
I mean,
so watching my uncles and my grandfather work out of their house as a kid, I'm like, well, now's the time for me to do what I think I've been wanting to do for a while. So I got into making my own thing from soup to nuts, I think is what to say. And from the beginning, designing, which is rather than being given something to make. I acted on impulse, something a phrase I heard, a thing I saw, I made it. And it caught fire. I actually started selling things, and I started going to these shows, and I started interacting with the people who gravitated to it. So there I am being stifled, and then after losing that, I got into the frosting of it. I got to get to a point where I felt like an artist rather than just a cog.
And that, to me, that's like the hardest thing is finding that balance between what you want to do and what someone's going to pay you to do.
Yes.
I think that's the struggle a lot of artists.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And Coletta Craft was born.
It was. It was born, and I hit the streets with it. I did the fair thing, and I did the arts and crafts shows. I entered a few pieces into some competitions, and I did well. The best thing that happened was I met Jessie.
And how did you meet Jessie?
Well, we have a couple of mutual friends.
Facebook.
That's how we
Social
pretty much
media, baby.
Yeah, and
it's super powerful. There's
absolutely.
No question.
Not knowing, looking back, we were at some of those shows together, not knowing
absolutely.
each other. Yeah.
We would compare notes and say, "Hey, have you ever done this show?" And he'd be like, "I was there," and so we.
Well, that's the weird thing about us
same.
is like we met a few months back, but we were at that
in the same circles.
We were at that same art show at the gallery that one time.
Yeah.
So it's just funny how closely you run into people.
So that's what happened. So Jessie had the opportunity to start to get a place of her own to sell her art, and she called me up and she said, Eddy, would you be interested in I'll be on the walls and you can be on the shelves.
I think that's what's great about your shop is your styles complement each other.
Absolutely,
and that's what we were told before this opportunity was even presented to us.
Yeah,
we complement each other, but we also push each other too to work harder.
Yeah,
for our own sake.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing about having. It's easy to be on your own, and then you have no one over your shoulder to kind of.
Right, we're our own bosses.
You should be watching TV today. Get your But so how did you get involved in art, Jessie?
Since as long as I can remember, my grandparents.
You hate that. I asked that question. I hate it because people ask me
back at 32.
People ask me all the time. They're like, "When did you start drawing?" It seems like it holds something.
I actually was drawing and coloring before I could even walk. Truly.
Yeah.
My grandparents would have me on the weekends, as my mom. She worked both 2 jobs and took care of me, and my grandparents instilled in me arts and crafts. And I had a counter actually, and the bar stool, and as little as I was, there was like this cabinet that we'd go to, and every week, and I'd open it up, and it was arts and craft supplies in there for me.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I was the best macaroni and glitter artist you've ever seen.
What
at 3 years
happened to the cabinet?
old.
Like, where's the cabinet?
My grandmother since moved to a smaller home, but for years, every time I'd open that cabinet up, it was like anything's possible. You can make anything. And sitting at that counter and being able to create, and my grandparents just encouraging me, since I was 2, 3 years old. maybe before I even knew it, I just wanted to create.
And you are probably one of the most prolific artists
thank you
ever
very much,
seen.
darling. Thank you.
Almost to the point where I find it frustrating.
You too?
To this day, I am.
Good.
Well, no, go ahead.
I'll come in on a Saturday morning at the shop because we're open on the weekend, and she'll be like, "This is what I did this week," and it's all beautiful and
framed.
So much
because
and I'm like, my teeth are clenched. And I'm like, Jessie, that's
You're
great.
working too every day. You're just working.
And I
for
made
the man.
cookies and a pie and
my garden, my dogs, everything.
Oh, you garden too?
Oh, hell yeah!
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
She's like
Look at all my
Mr.
favorite
Green
things.
Jeans.
This is ridiculous.
I have an opportunity to do what I love, so I make the most of it. However, I have finished 192 finished pieces since January 1st this year.
Nice.
My personal goal, doing a piece every single day, working
And
at it.
ask her if she sleeps at all.
I don't.
I didn't feel like that was even a question.
There's no sleeping because
Yeah.
I have a drive and I have a dream. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I look at my
Want a
schedule.
cookie?
I do, but I'll wait till we stop. Everything we do, Jessie always brings baked goods, so
Of course.
that's not why I have her back. It's just a bonus.
Because I feed people I love and care about.
Yeah.
And local artists and those that support the arts,
So the art shop is open on Saturdays.
Saturday and Sunday, 11
Saturday
to
and
6,
Sundays. Okay.
66 Main Street in Carver, Mass.
There you go. Nice plug. Is there a
Thank
website?
you very much.
Is there a website?
No, but we utilize Facebook tremendously. It's amazing how much. In fact, that's how we met through mutual friends and the scene. And you never know who's going to see something on social media that will connect.
And your shop is such a great vibe. Like
you.
every time I go
Thanks.
there, it's just
Good energy.
it's good energy. But it's people hanging out, and it's not. It doesn't feel like a shop. It feels like a clubhouse.
We once had somebody
Yeah.
come and visit us and say they came as a stranger but left as a friend, and that was like the ultimate compliment for our shop. I feel.
Well, I usually come as a friend and left, fed,
Tipsy.
maybe a little tipsy. But yeah, it's got that great clubhouse feel that.
Well, occasionally we refer to it, especially when the way Jessie lights a fire under people's asses to do. People come
Does
in.
she? I haven't noticed
Really?
that. Yeah.
People come and say, "Well, I haven't picked up a pencil since high school," and and that's my story too, as far as drawing and painting. But she will say the words that'll
Do it. Just
want
do
you to
it.
do it. So at times I say, "Well, it's a shop,
Thank
but
you.
it's kind of a ministry too." I like
Absolutely.
the word ministry because it's a way to build your own network.
Yeah.
It's a way to meet other people,
And inspire. If we can inspire one young person, old person, any kind of person, anybody to be creative, that's our goal.
yes.
Or one of my goals.
No, it makes me
Yours
feel
too?
good. It's a bonus.
And I think that's the thing about creative people is we have to create,
Yes, but
and when we don't,
Yeah.
you have kind of like an
there's
emptiness.
a need
yeah.
to create, especially in a world where there's so much negativity. We need to make something beautiful, for sure.
Or just work through a problem. It really doesn't have to be a finished piece, it can be through a joyous occasion, or it can be through a rough spot. It's just something
Get it
I
out
almost
of
feel
you.
like it's more important than the rough spots.
Yeah.
That's
Well, yeah. But it's like you said, it's something I can't. I'm 52 years old, and I still can't picture doing anything else.
yeah.
I know that if I don't create, I don't feel like I'm being true to myself. Like I need to make something, whether it's cooking or creating or working in the garden or artwork. Like I need to make something beautiful. Like I just want to
Express.
express.
So
Definitely.
where do you come up with the inspiration or ideas for your work? Because your stuff is kind of, you do all sorts of stuff.
I'm
You're
kind
very
of
heavy.
eclectic.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
heavy on charcoal and acrylics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those are my two favorite mediums. I'd say pastel maybe being a third close.
Yeah.
A
third close.
Why do you laugh at me?
I remember the week she come back from. She was in New Hampshire or something. She goes, I think I'm
Maine.
Try,
I think I went to Maine.
Yes. I think I'm gonna try pastels. I really haven't.
I tried watercolors.
I
was
played
fabulous.
with them. I played. I think
That's
I'm gonna sit
watercolor
down.
month, I think, or something like that.
Is it really?
I think so.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do one now.
Yeah.
Any reason?
So she gets these pastels and sits with them. All of a sudden, she has 6 finished pieces in front of her. She uses
Because you gave me like 3 Tom Collins, so of course I'm gonna create. Makes the best Tom Collins, by the way.
There's not one color she neglected, and
Yeah.
it's these pieces. And when you stand there in front of them, that's the noises you make.
Yeah.
Because they're
Thank
just so
you.
amazing. Not because they're amazing
you.
on their own, and Jessie, and she's my colleague, but she just picked up pastels that week. And people come
It's
in
just a different way to express
and they
yourself,
left the
that's
shop
all.
with them. They bought them. They were just moved. I mean, I've seen people, in front of her stuff.
Just a different way.
But yeah, anyway, that was her pastel experience. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
And I was very
sorries.
happy about
It
that too.
It was great. She only got 6 done that week, and I was so happy.
Yeah, that's great, Jessie.
Yeah.
It's not all a numbers thing either. It's challenging myself too, pushing myself
it's
every
not-
day to work in my studio, no matter what.
Absolutely, and it's not a numbers
It's
thing. 'Cause
discipline.
anyone,
It's hard. It's hard because
but this is the thing: is anyone can get 6 something done.
right.
Yeah.
But you
But
get
crap
6.
is crap.
You get
but if
6
you
good
try
things
to
out.
push yourself
Yeah,
harder and make something better and get, challenge yourself, then you're going to create something. And
And a little gin.
gin always is a wonderful
little booze
liquid.
doesn't hurt.
Gin and beer.
Yeah.
Come get mine at craft beer. I think I have to set those goals for myself. I have to push myself because
It doesn't fall into your lap.
no,
Even though you want
you
to
work
do
at
this.
it. You have to work at
Yeah.
it to get somewhere.
Yeah.
I think some of us are very lucky and we get like those opportunities that maybe don't knock on everybody's door.
Mm-hmm.
But then there are those times when if you work hard at something,
Well, I feel like the harder you work, the more of those opportunities
absolutely,
you get.
people will
yeah.
recognize that and they'll see that, and and you have to believe in yourself, and I think that's what's great about having a partnership too. Is sometimes when you're pushing yourself and you're working in your studio, and I see something there that maybe you don't recognize as something that's quality.
And you'll say, I can think of a
that's
couple examples
fantastic.
where I was stepping into sculpture. I really didn't start sculpture till I met Jessie.
Yeah.
Because what I do, the jewelry I make is very textural, it's very sculpted. But it's on a small scale. It's and I don't want to say trinket, but it's a piece of jewelry. It's something you wear. It's a medallion.
It's
It's
not.
symbolic,
You're not
though.
Flavor
It's
Flav. It's not a
symbolic.
huge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So Jessie says, why don't you just open up? Why don't you just make something bigger? Enter these art shows rather than a piece of jewelry.
Express yourself. Yeah,
go
bigger.
Big. So I have, and I feel like
It's
I'm
taking
mad
off. You're winning
scientist now.
ribbons.
Yeah.
People are getting some acknowledgement. It's about time.
And this process of the sculpting isn't something that was taught to me like the jewelry was. Like I was an apprentice to my grandfather and uncles. I went to the Jewelry Institute. I took classes here and there on North Bennett Street School, and there were things taught to me. The sculpting thing, I'm really not.
Freeform.
Yeah, and I feel like a mad scientist.
But yeah, sometimes that's almost better.
It is better.
Absolutely.
I enjoy the hell out of
Absolutely.
it.
Because you don't have those preconceived. Well, you can't do it this way. Why?
Yeah.
Well, you just
Right.
can't.
And
And
then
you,
that's-
you
The
almost
are
don't know what you're not
thrown
allowed
away.
to do.
The rules
yeah.
are thrown away,
So-
and you get to be free.
Look, son, you have to break your teeth. You have to pay your dues, and it has to be learned this way. And if it doesn't turn out that way, you haven't done it. Well, with the sculpture, it's like fuck you.
You do it because you want to do
And
it.
I'll
'Cause
show,
it's
yeah,
in
and I'll-
here, yeah.
And I'll show Jessie the piece, and I'm like, I'm not crazy about this, but I might go this way. And she's like, well, tell you what, stick with that thing that you're about to give up.
Follow
and,
the feeling.
and just run it to the end of the road, see what
Yep.
happens. And I've done that on a couple occasions, and I'm glad I did. So that's where I'm glad she's
Yeah,
there.
I've had pieces like that
Right?
where
Yeah.
like you're kind of like, ugh,
Yeah.
this is not good.
And you're
But
ready to
somebody seeing it from the outside point of view is going to look
Yeah.
at it and be like, they're going to appreciate
Someone you
things.
trust.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or, but you just kind of keep.
Yeah.
Well, it's not good, but I'm just going to keep going until it's done, and then you somehow turn that corner.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
It doesn't.
oh,
How
yeah.
does that feel?
It's usually bizarre and exciting.
But
yeah.
bizarre is
Yeah.
fun.
Oh,
That's
absolutely. Yeah.
wonderful, but especially in art. Bizarre is like,
Yeah.
And that you guys were in the it was Palisades Steeples and Spires show. I'm sure I got that name right.
Yeah, Widow Walks. What was it?
Widow
Plymouth, the
Plymouth,
Plymouth,
Widow Walks.
Widows Walks, Steeples, Inspires.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I broke the rules on that one.
But that's all good.
But that's
See,
what I
you
liked
followed
about
what
it.
was in
That's
your
what I-
heart. That's what's
I don't know what the
important
rules
as an
were,
artist.
but
I didn't
I
go for pretty. I went for
Stay true
historic.
to yourself.
But-
That's key.
I liked it because it stood out. It was so different from
Well,
everything else.
thank you.
And I thought that was what was unique about it.
I was a little disappointed with its reception, but I felt great that I worked it out. Because as soon as I heard there was this show, I was like, oh, you know what? Because I love Plymouth. I grew up in Pembroke, and I love Plymouth and
Plymouth is
Duxbury and
hometown of America,
And
baby.
there's so much history here that not just the tourists, but the people that grew up here, including myself, doesn't realize. So when you read books like Mayflower and you read the alternative history, not that what you learned in school, it opens up a whole new thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I went for. I went for the end
Yeah.
of King Philip's War, and it wasn't the pretty. Who sponsored that? That was the Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of
wasn't it?
Commerce.
I don't
Oh,
think it's
what's
Look,
I
because
thought-
he had
I thought it was the
skulls
Artist
on
Guild.
posts,
Yeah.
but he
It was
knew
in
the
partnership
history
with them.
behind
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
He studied the history. He took what his initial feeling was, and he
So
created
it's
something from
the
it.
three stations' heads
Yeah.
on poles at the Palisade walls that the Pilgrims built at the end. Well, yeah,
You're a big history buff anyway.
Well,
so.
yeah, but it felt good to get it out, and
I love that about him too. Like he was like, okay, so he didn't win any ribbons, he didn't win any accolades, but he should have, because he was true to himself, and he said, you know what, I have to get it out of me. If I don't make it the way I feel it, it'll be useless.
Well,
and he did it.
That's the thing. You have
it was beautiful.
That's one of those you create it for yourself, not for an audience.
It is, and it was I don't want to say it was an indulgence, but it was. I just had to make this thing, and when I was done, I'm like, and it wasn't a thing I made overnight.
No, it took months. Yeah. It was a work of art because it came from your soul. It came from history. It came from your soul. It came from things that mattered to you.
And I tried to use, and that was mostly, I sculpted the skulls, but the rest of that was mostly impressions I made from nature.
Yeah.
They were real sticks.
Isn't that funny how nature influences our work? Or at least I think both of our work. Yeah. And that's one thing why I'm drawing him in his work is like nature is huge. Yeah. Like huge.
Well, that's my Coletta Craft logo. It's the strength and splendor of nature.
Yeah.
I don't have a term, but like nature inspires me too. Huh.
Well, no, wait a minute. Now you have a saying, you have a quote that you often put on your literature. You dip your brush.
She dips her brush into her soul, and then she paints her life.
That's badass, right?
That's pretty badass.
That's better than
what is that from?
Nature and Splendor.
It's from my yearbook in 1989. Okay.
No, I was wondering.
No, it's been a saying
something
forever, and it was a he, but I changed it to she.
Yeah.
I am.
You certainly are.
Wow, I am.
This is audio only, right?
And for those of you visually impaired, yes, I am a she.
It's my business part.
That's what makes it fun.
Absolutely. If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. That's the other thing. We have to have fun.
But anyway, that was another example of, a bit of a collaboration and just having to work things out, having to do what inspires you. And
Have you guys ever thought about like working on a piece together, like one piece collectively?
Ooh. Well, the art shop is our thing. But
an actual piece.
We should. I've asked.
Oh my
Jessie,
God, this is so.
Well, I've asked you in the past to.
No, I don't want to color your stuff. Let's work together.
Not color it, but I've had pieces that I've liked, and I said Jessie, because she's made jewelry too. She's a bead master.
No, that's not jewelry.
And she's beaded some necklaces for me where she was able to pull out the color.
I actually bought a necklace from you for Zoe, my daughter. The sugar skull.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
See? So we've collaborated that way. But you're talking like something massive?
Why don't we?
I don't know.
We got the September show.
Right. Go big or go home.
And then could we enter it separately? Like as the art show? Let's do that.
Okay. So we'll do some separately and one together?
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
Double dog dare you.
No, she double dog dare me.
Yeah.
Bring it.
Now
You have to. Yeah. Well, if you accept the challenge. I mean...
Thanks a lot, Andy.
Thank you,
Andy. Shit, I'm sorry. Was I not supposed to do that?
No, that's how things happen. I mean,
and
the feedback is part of this. I mean, since I've been dealing with, again, where I work behind a bench for other people for so long, getting out there and selling my stuff, I deal with feedback.
Yeah.
And, you get ideas that way. There's no question. There's some things I just won't do because I'm not moved to do them, but...
Right now?
People say, how about a this or how about a that? And it'll come together as something. That'll usually work.
I mean, that's how kind of I did a piece together with my sister. Mm-hmm. She does cross.
Who's cool, by the way. I met her at the Oyster.
Yeah. She does cross stitch stuff, and just some stupid idea. One night, I called her up. I'm like, hey. What do you think about doing this? And she's like, all right. And so she crossed...
What was it?
It was for a Johnny Cash theme show. And she cross-stitched this Johnny Cash silhouette. Mm-hmm. And then I painted Folsom Prison on the...
That's awesome.
I've never paint on that shit again. it just didn't...
Try.
How's your lobsters doing?
I picked up lobster on Monday. So
you pick it up Monday so you can work on it then?
Yep. And tomorrow...
What an honor for you to be chosen.
Yeah,
I think that's
exciting.
fantastic.
I organized a meet and greet with all the artists for tomorrow. So
all of them?
Yeah.
Wow.
Andy, would you explain all that for the people?
Yeah, so since this isn't supposed to be about me, but...
no, bring it on.
We are... So Plymouth is doing a art installation project. They're manufacturing, I think it's up to 27 5-foot fiberglass lobsters. They're having artists paint them, and and so they're going to place them around town. They're going to be up for 2 years, and
where are you stationed?
I'm going to be right at the Rotary, down by the waterfront, just down like a block away from, because each artist is sponsored. So I'm sponsored by Wood Seafood and Plymouth Cruises.
Yeah,
and
so you're gonna be right there.
Yeah, going to be basically anyone who comes down to the water is gonna see it.
And when can you? Is it like hours, or is it going to be right? Is it inside?
No, they're going to be outside.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. If you're familiar with the area, there's like a rose with a compass rose. It's going to be like right there.
Oh, cool.
And
how exciting is that?
It's super exciting.
Yeah.
So the only time I think they're supposed to come in is during the winter.
Okay. Makes sense.
And then they'll put them back out.
Yeah.
So I think it's supposed to go up in August. Yeah. So that's been an experience. So that's what I think about Jessie. And hey, you're back.
No, jeez. When she opened that
was fast.
I'm glad she found the ladies' room upstairs.
I thought you were going to pee in the closet.
Yeah.
Hey, that's all in my past.
Let me tell you about our first shop.
This is a story.
We were at 2 years. We were in Plimpton, and it was this little place on Parsonage Road, and we didn't have a bathroom.
No judgment.
I went across the street to the Mobile to go to the bathroom. They were kindly, Jessie fed them, so they let us use their bathroom every time. But there was a big tree that Jessie occasionally used when she didn't feel like crossing the street.
Listen, I am a nature girl, and there's nothing wrong with...
But she'd also use it in the winter when all the leaves were gone.
You get people saying so. I saw more of you than I thought I would.
That's my business part.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm happy.
Make things interesting.
For our listeners, the Art Shop in Carver has a bathroom. So.
It does.
We do have indoor plumbing. We are slowly working our way up.
No, it's actually a very nice shop. I like it there a lot.
I haven't much.
You guys were... having kind of a artist get together powwow there for a couple weeks.
Yeah, we're doing drop-in and draws.
Yes, that's what
however, now we're going to be starting to do some extra painting classes. Excuse me.
Nice.
We'll be offering more classes because the demand is there, and I am going to answer the demand.
Yes.
Yeah.
People are asking. There's a waiting list.
When people want to hand you money, sometimes you just have to let them.
No.
Money, as well as teaching somebody how to create, and then they walk away with something tangible that they created at the end of the night. That's like an awesome feeling. It's like people are like, God, you show me how to do something. I show them technique. They walk away with something that they made.
How long have you been teaching people?
15, 20 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I've been doing long time.
And the art shop one has been you're in the 80s as far as the teens?
Early 90s.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you look good for 90.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, it's all the wonderful beer that I drink at Craft Beer Cellar and gin.
The 90s,
Samples.
90s what? No, you're saying 80s or 90s. What do you mean, students-wise? Or?
Amounts of classes she's had since we've been at the art shop.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Because
you guys haven't been there that long.
Well, no, but I've been doing the art thing since, late 80s,
she
early
has a
90s.
history. I don't know if you talk to anyone on the street. But
street history.
She made a name of herself, not worldwide, because she had a website before. A lot of people have websites. She did a lot of folk art, and she painted on wood. And people from time to time come in with that old stuff. And she kind of went through a bit of a change, not only in style, but the way
life threw me a curveball.
And
it's
she
all
kind
good.
of,
It's all good. Made me a better artist. Made me a better person.
It's on top of the hill as she was at that. She just kind of broke out of it, and like you said, she got into this thing where it's eclectic.
Yeah.
There's a Jessie style, but she touches on everything.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of nature.
Nature's my biggest
You did a
influence.
pop-up art show for us that I felt I almost had to give you a call because you look like you turned very, very dark.
I know, people are very concerned.
It's all skulls.
I had messages and people were all like, are you okay? Because you're such a happy person. I'm kind of concerned. I'm like,
so during that art show, you had one piece. I think you called it the Green Lady.
Oh yeah, my
which
favorite.
is beautiful.
Thank you.
And you sprayed some sort of.
I did a charcoal a charcoal work of something that I was hoping that would evoke some emotion, and I think I captured it. I felt I captured it. And this face, and then I stained it with this green aerosol stain, and I took a chance of ruining a piece of artwork that I don't think I'll ever.
It was finished.
So that's kind of what I wanted to touch on. It's like
take chances. That's how you learn.
Yeah,
And
no, I totally get that. I get that.
You fail a lot of times,
like,
but you succeed too.
How much gin did you have before you pulled the trigger on that?
Believe it or not, sober that evening. It must have been a Wednesday. But anyway, no, I'm willing to try anything once, because you never know. Something could be amazing, and if you don't try, you're not going to know. Some things I can work my heart out and make something that I think is really, really exceptional, and then I can completely undo it in a matter of seconds. And it's worth taking that chance, because what if you take it to that next level and it's amazing, or it's even better, and you
in that
don't
case,
know
I really
until
think
you
you did that.
Thank you.
With that, so
thank you very much.
That was pretty great.
But you held your breath when you sprayed that, didn't you?
Yeah, but you know what?
I can't. Like, I've done stuff like that, but just
Yeah.
I don't know. I
if
get it and I don't get it at the same time. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No,
You know my Frankenstein? That's gone.
Yeah.
But you know what? I tried. That's the thing.
The Frankenstein didn't make it?
No.
He's now living in the Kingston landfill.
So you throw stuff away?
I call it my wall of shame. I actually, in my studio, in my home, I have a studio, and I'll have works up on my wall. Like I said, I have 180-something plus finished pieces since January 1st this year. Those are pieces that I feel are worthy of showing, selling, sharing with the world. And every day I'm doing something new. However, some pieces nobody will see, nobody will know, because I'm experimenting, and it sucks. And if it sucks, well, but I learned something from it.
Yeah.
But then there are those few pieces that, like, I just do, and I do something a little bit. I don't know, I'll try a new medium, I'll try something different, I'll experiment with something, and sometimes it's just amazing, and then sometimes I'm like, fuck, what do I do? Okay, say fuck.
No, you can't say fuck.
Okay, I can't say fuck. Okay, unfuck that.
I told you can say whatever you want.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm your business partner.
This is my fucking business partner.
You're fucking business partner. However, sometimes you'll do something.
Oh, for our listeners, Jessie had no idea what a podcast was until we
a
started.
pod thing, according to Google. I don't even know if I have the equipment to listen to this at home.
Ask your daughter to show you.
My kid, my wonderful, beautiful, talented kid will help me listen to this, I hope. However, no, sometimes you experiment and you try something and it doesn't work. Sometimes it does.
Now, I've never seen you with like a sketchbook per se. Like, do you?
I have one with me always.
Do you?
She's always.
I have art material in my car at any given time.
That's
I have pens and pencils in my car.
That's what I always have. Is my, like, people are always like, "Oh, can I look at your sketchbook?" I'm like, "Yeah," but a lot of it sucks because it's just screwing around or experimenting on something.
Okay, because I am that person that it's just my type of personality, as I hope you can attest to.
I get it.
Anything I try to do 100%.
Yeah. No, I get that, but I mean, there's still stuff that you even start and you're like, that's just not even close to right.
Right. I wasn't pleased with my Frankenstein. Frankenstein landed in the landfill. However, maybe there's an audience out there that would have liked it, but you know what?
Yeah.
It wasn't good enough for my quality and my taste.
I've seen you sketch something, as people will, just to remember something or to try something, and she just won't leave it. She'll finish it off.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to do something, do it 100%.
I know, but not a lot of artists do that. I don't do that. I'll leave it, maybe get to it later, maybe forget all about it. Yeah. You might be bored with it, let it lie, but she'll put like a quality finish on it, just because that's what she does.
So my great Uncle Howard, okay, when I was a little girl.
Was he great or was he?
No, he was my great. He was actually a great artist. He was a great watercolorist.
So that make him a great uncle?
No, you want to know what? You want to hear? There's a great story behind Uncle Howard.
Was it a great story or?
It's a great story.
Okay. About a great uncle.
I think it's a great story. However, as a little kid, I always wanted to be an artist. Like, this is something I thought, this is what I wanted to do, whether or not it's just taking me a long time to get there. However, Uncle Howard would look at my work and he'd be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, okay, let's go here, let's go there," and he was just like kind of pleasing my mom and dad just to pay attention to me for a few moments. he had bigger and better things to deal with than some little 5, 6, 7-year-old drawing and coloring, right? However, it turned out like I always knew him as a watercolorist and an oil painter, and he made his mark in Rhode Island, actually.
Is this the guy we Google and find
Yes,
stuff?
yes.
It's good stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, and it was well done, and all of my family members home, everybody was proud of Uncle Howard because they had artwork of his in the house.
It's Vargas-like.
Oh, really?
He does girls.
So,
nice.
yes, but I did not know that till he passed away. So
then you
Uncle
found his girly
Howard
pictures?
he had all these birds and nature and wildlife, which I find beautiful, wonderful. However, I came to learn later on that he was very well known and made his living at painting pinup girls
Nice.
in the 50s and
50s,
40s,
yeah,
50s,
that's
60s
like
when
the heyday,
pinup girls and he did illustrations for like
Smoking.
yeah, they were gorgeous, and his work was a magnificent. But I was never allowed to know that as him as an artist. I was kind of protected and shielded from that, which I think art should be anything. I don't think it should be like,
Yeah.
But anyway,
Howard
Connolly.
2
N's, 2 L's, yes.
2 N's,
very
2 L's.
Well-known
Very
artist.
American, very Coca-Cola, just of that time. And
Yeah.
they were,
Beautiful,
like,
beautiful.
perfect.
And the
They were-
pinup girls were stunning. And if you
the
Google
beach
him,
girls,
you'll see. And when he passed away, and one of the things that I learned from him was you practice, practice, practice. You draw, draw, draw. You have a moment alone where you're doing nothing, have a sketch pad near you. Create. It could be shit. Doesn't matter. You do practice.
All right, listen, you can say fuck, but you can't say
I
shit.
can say fuck, but not shit. Okay, so it can be fucking awful, but not shitty, okay? Because I'm not allowed to
as
say
long as it's
that. But you practice and you do it, and you get better, and it's just to challenge yourself, and that's what I think I do as an artist. Is like I challenge myself. It's not about the world; it's about me.
And you challenge those around you, too.
Excuse me.
Either
Sorry.
by just example or just by you just throwing it in their face.
But
When is the drop off for that art show you keep pestering me about?
September. You want to be ready by the first. Actually, I'd love to see some of your work ready for
You have to
August,
now.
the first week in August
You
at
have
the
to
Pembroke
now.
Art Festival.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very wonderful local art family festival.
You have to now. Amy.
It's a 49th
I do have this
year, I
lobster
think?
thing I'm working on. So
I don't know, it's
that's
been
my
forever.
priority right now.
Lobster?
The lobster's my priority.
All right, well, then you back it up as a
Back it up.
because then you got Pembroke, and then you have September
You gotta
at
do
the
the
Plymouth,
September one.
Yeah.
Plymouth
Did you know
Juried
she was
Art Show.
co-chair?
I did hear that
I am.
she's Miss
The rumor is
Miss
true.
Co-Chair,
The rumor is true.
her royal co-chairness.
It's all about titles, baby.
Plymouth Guild, yeah.
Nice.
Co-chair.
So I better get a ribbon this year.
It doesn't say judge, it says co-chair. No.
Who does judge that?
Actually, I think this year we have some very wonderful. I can only remember 2 off the top of my head. There's a lady, an amazing artist named Donna Rossetti Bailey, who is a phenomenal pastel artist. She's one of our judges, and then there's he's just fantastic local artist Andrew Koosman. Here in Plymouth, he's out of Plymouth, and he's an amazing watercolorist and artist, and he's phenomenal. And they're 2 of the 3 judges. There's also
Sculptor.
a sculptor artist. I apologize, I can't remember the
nice.
name off the
Yeah,
top of
that
my
helps.
head.
The last time I got a decent ribbon there was when Hiram Ball was
Absolutely.
a judge. And he went for one of my pieces.
And you wonder too if those judges, because of the medium that they are specialists in, if that influences. But they actually
It might.
appreciated it, knew that there was quality there with your work.
Oh, stop.
Oh, stop! You
No, that was one of those early successes that really got me going.
Yeah.
Sculpting. a lot.
Doesn't it suck when you win a ribbon your first time around, and then you're like every other show that comes along, you think you're going to be like all that?
But I mean,
and it's not. It's not
and
about
that's the thing
ribbons.
is, it's not about ribbons. It's
Oh,
nice
well,
to get one, but
yeah.
it's also
It feels good. It feels
art
good
is
to win.
always subjective.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's
Absolutely.
But,
someone
And
may
that's
not
why
give
you
a
need
ribbon,
to
and someone will
be true to
always,
yourself
you know.
every
That's nice,
time.
and that's nice, and that's the nice thing to say. But but my business partner, when I brought in my ribbons to bring, she said, "Eddie, bring your ribbons in. We'll display them at the shop."
Yeah.
So I did. I brought in my handful of ribbons. So the next day, she brings this backpack in.
It was only 22, 23 ribbons.
From 1932
Listen.
on.
She liked yours. She just wanted to make sure you knew she had more.
Yeah.
Although, what's funny is, and I know it shouldn't matter what, like, ribbons matter or anything, but it does feel good when you're acknowledged by fellow artists and judges, and it always makes you feel like, wow, that's a feather in my cap.
It's not necessary.
However,
it's a nice
exactly. And I've been fortunate enough to
get a backpack full.
Win a few here or there throughout the South Shore
what I'm
in my
finding
lifetime.
to be kind of a bit of an ego boost is I do have one ribbon.
Yay! What is it for?
Actually, two. Two. Because that piece that I was telling you about, the Johnny Cash one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
One.
So you got
Johnny
one?
Cash.
Johnny Cash.
Walk the line, baby. Yeah. Walk the line.
What is this? We're sampling.
This is
Middle Child.
Middle Child.
The Middle Child. Yes.
We won third place at the Marshfield Fair for mixed media.
Oh, cool.
Okay, coming in August, they're taking on new work.
At Marshfield?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
For August show.
And I won second place in pen and ink.
Oh, wow.
Fabulous. Pen and ink is very important,
yeah.
I would assume, for you being
I love pen and ink.
A cartoon, like a scribe.
Describe? I don't know. I just do what I like. It's hard to explain.
Well, don't bring the art shop because she'll bring more ribbons in.
Yeah. No. Oh, but the thing that I'm, I already said you have more than me. But the thing that I'm finding is a bit of an ego boost, and I'm finding exciting is the Inebri-art name is getting recognized.
Absolutely.
Like, by more and more
As
people.
As it should be.
But I can't pin it down. Like, it's one thing in the beginning, it was like, oh, Steve or whatever, and he's a friend of mine. Now it's the point where they're like,
Fish,
or
these guys,
or they'll be like, oh, I heard from so and so. I'll be like, I don't even know who the hell that is.
It's catching fire. It's exciting.
Yeah.
It really
so
is.
That's
well,
very
we toot
exciting.
your horn for you guys, just so you know, because we love Inebri-art.
And we love when you toot our horn, Jessie.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I missed this month. This is the first time I missed this year.
Yeah, but you had bronchitis. For our listeners, Jessie got diagnosed with bronchitis 2 days ago. Yet she's here, and
that's right, because I'm a trooper.
She is a trooper. She's here, and she made cookies, and
she
probably did 3 pieces this afternoon.
But she wasn't.
I did one.
What did you do today, Eddy?
And I got my garden done and walked my dogs. Yeah. And the day is not over yet, Andy. Okay?
Yeah, I know.
Just so
I
you
didn't
know.
do shit today, so
So she wasn't at the drawing Monday night.
I know,
yeah,
right? Can you believe it?
Bite me, Mr. Mario.
How we talked about it
you know
all
what?
night, didn't we?
Did we have brownies on Monday? No.
We didn't.
Whatever. Slacker.
However,
yeah, we do have cookies
next
now.
month. I am hoping that.
But about Inebri-art, it's
I
great.
love it. I love
Plymouth
it.
has
You
gone
get
through
a
this
group-
revitalization, and
Yeah.
now it's not just, no offense, but it's not just the dusty art that's
biddies.
around. Yeah.
You could say it.
No, well,
Well, it's
not that that's bad.
No,
it
it's
has
not.
its tradition and it's cool. But
it's very.
Inebri-art has not. It's brought this
I
young
look
blood.
forward to Inebri-art every month.
Yeah.
And I know Inebri-art also offers painting classes.
Yeah, just if you wanna
on the
go
spot
off,
bar.
yeah.
Fun, beginner to intermediate.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a fun thing
To
for
enjoy,
people to
art
do.
to
Yeah,
enjoy,
absolutely.
yeah.
And since we're
but
plugging
the-
ourselves
Yeah,
here,
go for it.
Plug
I don't know when
away.
this is going to go up, but July 25th, we will be at the Driftwood Public House. We hang the art there.
Try the pretzels.
Try the
Definitely
pretzels
try
and
the
beer.
pretzels.
Yep.
And we will be there for a drink and draw with the artist who's currently hanging, Ryan
What
Ryan
night of the week
Santos.
is it?
It's a Monday night.
Is this the New Bedford artist?
Yeah,
Yes, he's from New
Fantastic.
Bedford. Yeah.
Let's
Great
go.
stuff.
Let's see
Yeah.
if we can get the night
There's
off.
the skull piece.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah.
So.
I'll tell you, you stop by the shop when you got some of his stuff
And showed
you
us,
showed
which we
us.
were honored to that you shared
Yeah.
with us before
It was in your
hung.
vehicle, and it was cool. It was really cool, and the style was solid. But up on the wall,
It looks so
it's
much
so
better.
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty
Holy
sweet.
shit.
To view it
Yeah.
from it, wow,
Yeah.
it was something. Yeah.
Well, like that was that piece. There's a skull that is composed of, I think, 12 small
Yep.
canvases in one frame.
Is it 12? Yeah.
I think it's 12. And I looked in the car, and when he handed it to me, I'm like,
Oh, it's great.
That's cool
Yeah,
looking.
it's neat.
I get
Yeah.
it.
And then I put it on the couch, and I was like, holy shit, that's a skull.
Yeah, it's cool. Because
Yeah.
art is interpretive, but then you can see it from a different
Yeah.
angle. It's like, man,
Yeah.
I can't believe I missed that.
Well, that's
Wow,
one of the
so
things
cool.
that I'm always telling people in the painting class. They're like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like this. I'll be like, stand up, stand back 4 feet.
Absolutely.
Because you're so up
You're
on
on top of
it,
something.
yeah.
You're working on something for 3 hours. Or at
Right.
least I find this in my class, as you might with yours.
Yeah.
Somebody's working on something for 3 hours, right within 12 inches of it. step away, walk away, look at it tomorrow. It's like the friggin' paint fairy comes.
Do you know what's funny is I have
It's
found
awesome.
I found I take a picture with my cell phone and look at the picture, and for some reason that makes it look different to me.
Because it looks like
It's a different, different format.
It's very strange, but
camera size.
I have a strategy at work. I mean, I sit down on a bench 8 hours a day and work on someone else's piece, and they want it done a certain way, but you can get that kind of tunnel vision, and you get stuck. So I make it a point to drink at least 8 bottles of water a day, which makes me...
I thought he was going to say 8 beers.
I'm like, that's me. That's the other partner. Yeah, that's the side of the table.
That's the homework. But working for the man, I gotta... So I pee a lot. I have to get up and pee.
So you have to get up and get away.
Yeah, so I'll come back and I'm wiping my hands off after washing my hands, and I
see it different.
Yeah, and it really is a great, it's a great technique for me to just get off of it and just come back a little fresher.
One of my favorite things is...
And my bladder's empty.
Yay! It's a good thing. One of my favorite things is when somebody will say, okay, I took a painting class from you last night, and then the following night, they'll message me and they'll be like, oh my God, I saw it through different eyes the next day, and I saw what they created. I may have showed them some tools and techniques, but they're the ones that did it. And it's the greatest gift, I think, is when somebody creates something and they have that feeling that's like, oh man, I did this myself, and they're like so excited.
Yeah,
I think that's a beautiful thing. That is the best gift.
That's what's cool about the shop. You get to see the people part. It's as important it is to us to express ourselves and do what we have to do.
Individually.
You see how it affects people, and it does affect people. Working at a bench, I didn't see that part. I remember taking who became my wife, for dates, I would take her to Jordan Marsh and take her to the Anne Klein department to show her what I worked on. But now I'm seeing people gravitate to my work, and it's cool because jewelry. She's not listening.
I'm listening. I
feel like she doesn't listen to you a lot.
I know. So
I listen.
But that's like every good.
What I've learned
this is a work marriage.
What I've learned is jewelry isn't like a lot of other art. It becomes an extension of the person because they're wearing it. It's very primal. And see, she's not even paying attention to what I'm saying because
she's distracting me.
She thinks I'm bashing her art.
She's like, listen,
no,
I have more ribbons.
But it's kind of like Lennon and McCartney.
I got another one.
It's Lennon and McCartney, I think, and we're just trying to one up each other.
We let him think that.
Well, sometimes, but when I want to be cute, I'll be Paul.
I was gonna say, I don't know. Lennon's the dead one.
Yeah.
That's right? Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much.
One's knighted, one's dead.
Well, he looked better when he did.
Sir Jesse. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sir Jesse.
Sir Jesse.
Whatever. So she keeps me on my feet.
Yeah. No, and I think that's what works great about you guys is you complement each other. And
we do. We complement each other, but we push each other too.
Yeah.
Because no slacking. And he'll be the first one to call me out on something that looks like shit.
Well, I can't say shit. Well,
no, because I never ever
call
do that.
Our work shit.
No, you can't say shit, but you can say fuck. We already went over this.
Right. No shit. It's all, yeah. That looks like fuck.
First time I said, just move that shit over there. She goes,
it's not shit.
She straightened right up. And
pride in what we make.
Because
we take
she's
pride in
always
what we
kidding.
make. No.
She says, it's not shit.
It's not.
Oh, geez.
Because if we take that effort to make it just so. We're not just slinging shit. We're not.
No, but it's
art into it.
It's that George Carlin thing.
Yeah.
Which one?
That someone else's stuff is shit and my shit is stuff.
Stuff, yeah.
Yes, exactly. My
Move your shit and let me put my stuff down.
My shit's awesome. I don't know about you, Mr.
No, So, where's the art shop located again?
66 Main Street in Carver, Mass.
66.
Also, you can find us on Facebook at the Art Shop, Jess Art Studio. And
that's the Art Shop, Jess Art Studio. Find and like us.
TheART SHOPPE.
But it's good. We were discussing a website, but Facebook is free for now.
Social media.
And we put new work up on there. We put events that are coming up. And everything related to us, we'll put on the shop.
And we just slowly started introducing, like, we're putting prices and everything. We never did that online. Like, we're just slowly introducing that.
I've sold more pieces on Facebook. Just
it's amazing.
Not even putting it up for sale. Just being like, hey, this is what I'm working on.
Yeah.
Someone has to be like, it's mine.
Because somebody's going to
Exactly.
see something that's going to connect. Isn't that the biggest honor in the world? Like, I find it's like, I get off on, like, well, never mind what I get off on. But I get off on like when somebody's like, oh my God, I love that. And if I can connect with somebody, I'm being a lady here. You're being fresh. When
Eddie was the hand motions.
That's right. When somebody connects with it and is willing to pay me to gift them, like to exchange. That is like the best compliment, and you must find it as an artist too.
Absolutely.
Like it is like you created something that came from in here, but somebody from in here is willing to part with it.
She's
That's
motioning
huge.
to her chest and her butt.
Yes, and take it either way you want. I think that's the highest compliment. I think is I find it when somebody that works their fanny off to make their paycheck and they're going to part with money. To buy something that I created just because it was right for me inside of me.
And it connects,
with
some
somebody.
level.
And it became
spiritually,
intimate
emotionally, physically,
Yeah.
whatever reason it is
Had
that
to be
they
a
wanted
plan.
to have that. To me, that is the biggest honor. That I am so flattered by somebody that is willing to. I can't do two things at once,
I think that's bullshit because you do
really?
like 9 things in a day.
Yeah,
you
well.
have to do some of them at the same time.
I gotta be a go-getter.
We're hitting pretty close to the hour mark.
Oh.
So
Time flies.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like an hour. So who is an influence of yours? And plug something. Not like what is something that you're watching, listening to that kind of connects with you.
Okay, I'm not gonna say who. Nature influences me, not a specific whom.
Okay,
It's nature.
That's fair.
Nature influences my artwork constantly. Although world events, influence my painting too. Like after Orlando, the tragedy,
Sure.
I painted my peace painting.
She does.
Like there are things that
I will. I saw that.
It's the dove with the
It's
help me, please.
it's the Earth, and there's a rising sun behind it, like
And the
you would
rainbow.
see in a NASA picture.
Yeah.
And then there's a dove in front of it with a.
Oh, so similar to the one that's up there?
Kind of
Actually, if you go on Facebook,
it was done after the
if you go on Facebook,
shootings.
it's posted on our Facebook right now.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'll have to
I
check it out.
find a lot of nature influences me. Although sometimes when there's a world event, it does influence me, definitely. And I have to do something to get it out of me, to make it.
And is there something you're reading, listening to, watching that you think is exceptional? Doesn't have to be necessarily influential, but just something that you think other people should check out.
I'm watching, you know what I'm influenced by? And it sounds so silly. I'm not a big Netflix binge right now, but I love there's a purity to the 1950s, and I'm watching midwife calls right now. Anything to do with the 50s, the era. However, I don't think women were appreciated or accepted or understood or acknowledged as much as they are now. But there was this era, and it's sort of this. I romanticize it.
Yeah,
I do.
I think we romanticize a lot of stuff that we look back on.
And that's an era that I think I just totally play into that whole picturesque. There's an influence there for me. 50s, 60s. Yeah. I would be a hippie child.
Yeah.
I would definitely be a hippie girl.
Not even surprised. What about you, Eddie? What's a major
How about
influence?
you, though, Andy?
This is
think
about you guys.
Okay,
It's
well,
about you guys.
yeah.
So.
I don't have any one. Things change for me all the time.
Well, yeah, it just it can just be something that's
Absolutely.
you've been influencing you lately.
Lately, I've been reaching back to my childhood, trying to grab the feeling I used to have as a kid, and that's what's kind of.
That in the 50s?
No, stop it. There was the 70s. It was about big wheels and Fonzie and Jaws. That's what was mentioned. But it popular-wise. But anyway, I've been kind of reaching back. My kids are teenagers now. My youngest is 16. And I'm kind of relating with them now, and it kind of throws me back to where my head was then. And it also shows me what good kids they are, because I was nothing like that. but I'm finding a lot of
His mother will
inspiration.
attest.
Finding a lot of inspiration in that. And did you mention Stephen Fry? Were we talking about?
We were talking about, not tonight, but we were talking about, I think yesterday we were talking about Stephen Fry.
Okay, so Tuesday I get on YouTube and I just start hitting Stephen Fry while I'm working, and it's like, holy shit. You know, these are one of those guys, like we mentioned Lennon, you mentioned Carl, and this is one of these guys who appreciates the Enlightenment and
he
looked
had-
at life that way.
He had a super interesting, like, you would never expect it. Like, he's been in prison.
Yeah.
You know, like, he stole credit cards and did all sorts of shit.
He went through his drug years.
Yeah,
and he
he's
came
super
out.
interesting guy.
He's an English gentleman, and he's a director. We were talking about what
QI,
we've
probably.
seen him in.
Yeah.
He was also Minecraft Holmes in the movie Sherlock Holmes with Iron Man there. He was the brother.
Oh, was he?
Him, yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
It was in. But anyway, as soon as I saw him, I'm like, I know who that is.
Yeah,
But anyway,
yeah.
so right now he's an influence, and it got me thinking about the Enlightenment again, and how far off we are from those days with everything that's going on now. Everyone's retreating to their superstition. Everyone's retreating to what's comfortable, and it's not necessarily helping us as a country. We're talking over each other, and so that's what I retreat into, and that's what gets my motor running.
We're not seeing each other as we should.
No.
We're not appreciating the
You know,
value
and that
of
might be the way
everybody's
it should be
life.
right now, because I don't think we could help each other in our positions as a country if we tried. It would be forced. It would be. I
We
don't know.
need something, though.
Yeah, we do.
We need to.
another enlightenment,
Yeah.
and it might not come from
Yep.
the heartland. It might come from overseas. It might come from the
Yep.
aliens.
No, like I
And-
truly
and
believe
the-
it can come from ourselves.
Yeah.
It doesn't. We don't need a leader. We need to start taking that responsibility to make our world a better place, like from ourselves.
So that's a drive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
comes out in your work.
Yeah,
Be
I'm
it
sure.
visually,
Yeah.
be it the fire under your ass. You know what I mean? Whatever.
And what's one thing you're listening to, reading, watching, or whatever that you'd recommend to people? Not necessarily influencing you, that you're just digging on.
All right, here's one that was.
One of those, you gotta go check this out kind of thing.
All right.
Glad you
that-
said
Carl
that.
Sandburg. Carl Sandburg.
I said one. I said one thing.
I know. I know.
My kids got me Abraham Lincoln biography by Carl Sandburg, which came out, I don't know, late 50s, early 60s, and it is in disc form. I'm listening to it at work. It's 36 discs. So I know Abraham's bowel movements on a daily basis. And it's
215.
but it is intriguing. It's very cool. All the things, I don't know. I can't explain it because it's 36 long. But what is she doing?
I don't know what she's doing.
Is it green around mine?
No, it's the cup.
How come? Keep talking about Abe.
Yeah.
No, Abe's. We know enough about Abe.
Yeah.
Well, I do after 36 discs. Anyway, you know what? I just got done. Here I am, 52 years old. I listened to Catcher in the Rye for the first time.
Are you kidding?
Really? You never read it?
High
Never read it.
time. High time.
I know
Funny-
everything about it, and
funny
I know
st-
who killed people with
funny
it in their
st-
pocket. I
Funny,
know things
funny
like
story
that.
about that book is
Yeah.
that was summer reading, I think, my senior year.
Yeah.
Never read it. And
Would you-
I
did you
turned
Cliff Note it? What'd you do?
like they're passing the test out, and I turned the kid next to me and I said, "What's this about?" And he explained the
Listen,
book to me.
that was me that you turned to, okay?
But he explained the test, or explained the book to me. I'm like, right on. And it was an essay, so I wrote an essay
Did you read it?
on Catcher in the Rye.
Mm-hmm.
And when they passed it back, I scored higher on the essay than he did.
didn't even read the
He
goddamn
was
thing.
super pissed. I didn't read it till like I was like
It's great.
I was
glad
probably
did.
like
Yeah.
5-6 years. Oh, it's a great book, but like yeah.
That's
So
good.
I think
Yeah.
I got a B plus.
Just get done with that. That was great.
Yeah.
And I should have done it
I was an
earlier,
A
but-
student, so Atticus Finch and I
Yeah.
are like this.
Me.
Oh,
Yeah.
love Kill a Mockingbird. Everyone, let's Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
Is awesome.
We need. Never mind. I stopped.
Okay.
I stopped.
Sorry, she saw something shiny.
I did. Sorry.
But yep. So we're pretty much. I think we're all
Wrap it
set
up.
here. Do you guys have any closing thoughts?
It's fun.
Yeah, good.
Make
good. I'm
art.
glad you guys.
Be
I want to
creative.
thank both
you think?
you and Fish for
Yeah,
doing
thank you,
this.
Fish.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you, Andy.
that's-
Anything that
Thank you, Inebri-art.
Yeah, anything that contributes to the art scene, man, is
Yeah.
righteous.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
So thanks.
definitely.
Well, and this.
Thank
will,
you, Craft Beer Cellar.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Thank
Absolutely.
you, Tatum of the
If
Craft
I'm
Beer
even
Cellar.
near this place, I get
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it and hate it. It always
I
costs,
know.
every time I'm here, it costs me like $30. And
But well worth it.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Absolutely well worth
It's liquid inspiration.
It's a whole different
But
medium.
this is going to be up on SoundCloud and iTunes and YouTube.
So this is like the
It's a pod
podcast thingy
This
that I
this is a
Googled.
podcast thingy that you Googled. Yep. And we will send you a link.
Thank you.
Yes. And for our listeners, you can check us out at Inebri-art.com or find us on Facebook. Just search for Inebri-art and you'll find us. Check out our events.
Come to our next drawing night.
Yeah, next drawing night will be August 1st at the New World Tavern in Plymouth.
And you have a
August
painting coming
1st,
out,
yay!
don't you?
We have if you look at
Canvas.
my calendar is like covered. Canvas and Cocktails
Yes.
is, again, I don't know when this exactly is going to be posted,
Okay.
so I don't want to give too many dates
All right.
until we kind of get into a rhythm.
Commitment.
But our next podcast will be with local musician extraordinaire Jimmy C.
All right.
So
what does he do?
he's a musician.
I got that. I
That's
got
why
that
I
when you said the word musician.
No, he's a local musician. He plays a lot of places. He plays from Boston down the Cape.
Okay. Cool. Very
Guitar, keyboards, you name it.
There
Just
you go.
super great. You love Jimmy C.
Cool. I bet
So,
I would.
so I think we're going to leave it at that. And thank you guys for joining
Hey,
us.
thank you, Andy.
And thank you for taking our virginity.
Thank you.
So,
Hey,
yeah.
it's not the first, won't be the last, baby.
This is my business part.
You better believe it. Yep.
So,
Oh, here, would you like a little more?
thank you guys. And that's
It's been a
pretty much-
pleasure.
Yep.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you,
Thank
Andy.
you.
Thank you.